Alright guys, chapter 1140 is titled Scopper Gaban, and we're going to talk about it, and this is my first time actually reading the chapter. Obviously I read spoilers so I know what happened, but I'm going to read it for the first time with you guys, and we're going to talk some shit. It's going to be funny. It's going to be fun. If you're new here, make sure you guys leave a like and subscribe to the channel. So the title is called Scopper Gaban. I don't know if that's like a way of saying Gaban in Japanese or like, I don't know, but what's more interesting is the cover page and we see Ulti chained up to a darting board. And yeah, they're fucking around with Ulti, and who's who is like, he has his tongue out. Obviously he's playing around with this girl. Oda's a freak, he's a gooner, he's a horn dog. Ulti is one of the most fetishized characters in One Piece. Who's who looking like this and Ulti being chained up like this? I don't think Oda's mind is in a good place. He probably doesn't want your guys' mind to be in a good place either. But that's besides the point. The chapter starts with Gaban and Luffy talking shit. Luffy tells Gaban, why would I fight over this key? You're just an old man. Like, who the fuck is this guy? And then Gaban starts to tease Luffy, telling him, what, you think you could take the key just because I'm old? And that triggers Luffy. So Luffy attempts to take the key, and while that's happening, Zoro gets a flashback of Conan saying, did you know my father is human too? He used to be a pirate and he didn't fear anyone, not even the warriors of Elbaf. So Zoro has suspicions on who this guy actually is, but he's so retarded that he didn't figure out that this guy might actually be important at the end of the chapter, but that's besides the point. Luffy tries to go for the key, but Scopper easily dodges Luffy's hand. And like, look how he kind of creates like a mirage after he moves out, and you can kind of see like his shadow of where he was. So Scopper easily dodges Luffy. Okay, maybe we can cut Luffy some slack. He wasn't expecting this guy to be moving this quick, so he got kind of caught off guard. And then Luffy starts throwing a bunch of hands and trying to grab, but Scopper just ends up ducking and bobbing and weaving and dodging all of them. And then Luffy says grr, and then he tries to jump near Gaban and tells him, hey, I gotta get back to Loki. The sooner I get back, we get to eat, like we get to go to the feast. And you know, Luffy don't play about his food. And then Scopper told him, hurry up and take the key then, like if you really want to go do that shit. And Luffy says, just watch me. And while he tries to take the key, Scopper Gaban blitzes Luffy. He jumps up, he then starts to coat the key with Artemin Haki, and Luffy's still looking straight at this point, like he didn't know what the hell is happening. And then he looks up and says, Haki? And we see the key coated in full Artemin Haki. And then he smashes it on Luffy's head, throwing him into the ground. So there's a big contention on whether this right here is Advanced Conqueror's Haki. Whether it is or not, I really don't care, because I really believe Scopper Gaban has it. Narratively, he's described to be a very strong character. In my opinion, he's on the level of a character like Rayleigh. To be comparable to these legends, to be a legend, you can't just run around with just Artemin Haki is my belief, unless you have like a Devil Fruit, which I don't think he does. And for him to use Advanced Conqueror's Haki in this moment to fuck around with Luffy, especially a guy that he knows is good and that Shanks told him about, so there's no reason for Gaban to actually try here. And just by the looks of it, there is severe lightning that people could try to correlate to Advanced Conqueror's Haki, but at the same time, we've seen moments like this in the series where this lightning appears with characters who aren't using the ability or have Conqueror's Haki. So seeing lightning that looks like this specifically isn't consistent with Advanced Conqueror's Haki, because we see a lightning that looks like this with other people that just use Artemin Haki. Some people are saying the kanjis that are used for the Haki or like the key that's coded in Artemin Haki is similar to that of Advanced Conqueror's Haki. I've seen some correlations and I don't know if it's necessarily consistent. It's kind of confusing, but if you want to make that argument, go ahead. But I don't really think it matters, because Scopper more than likely does have Advanced Conqueror's Haki, and it really doesn't make sense for him to use it in this scenario. Don't be sad that he didn't show it here. He's probably going to use it on actual people he's actually trying to fight and kill, like the guys that are going to try to take his kid away from him, the guys that just pulled up this chapter. So yeah guys, don't be sad about it. So yeah, not only is Gaban currently dodging Luffy, he was able to cope the key with Advanced Artemin Haki while Luffy just watched and smashed him into the ground. Then Luffy gets up fuming, and then Gaban starts to troll him again. He says, nice straw hat you got there. It suits you better than the helmet, don't you think? And then they start going back and forth. Luffy says, duh, it's my treasure. I'm holding on to it for Shanks. Now hand over the key. And then Gaban says, holding on to it? He didn't just give it to you? What a cheapskate. We see Luffy throwing a barrage of hands to try to grab the key. Now this panel right here, no agenda guys, no nothing. I know people have so many excuses, but this panel right here to just show you that Gaban is way superior than a base version of Luffy. Look at Gaban. He is literally trolling every single attempt of Luffy to try to get this key. He is trolling him so bad, he's outclassing him so bad that he's creating after images of him just trolling Luffy. Like, he has the key on his foot while his arms are crossed as one of his images. Like, there's 3 Gabans in this photo. He's moving that fast. Luffy cannot do anything, even if he wasn't just going for the key. We'll talk about that in just a sec. And Luffy just said, "You got it wrong, dummy," because Gaban just called Shanks a cheapskate. And the kind of thing this arc is that Shanks doesn't let people badmouth, or Luffy doesn't let people badmouth Shanks. That's kind of like the big theme that's going on right now. Don't call him that. You don't even know the first thing about him. And Gaban starts laughing because, Luffy, what the fuck are you talking about? You don't know the first thing about Gaban. This guy knows Shanks better than you do. It's just hilarious. Like, I find that really funny. And then Gaban tells him, "You got a mouth on you, brat," and shoves a key in his face. That's exactly what I would do. If I was Gaban and this kid's trying to scold me on my little bro, because Shanks is literally Scopper Gaban's son. Like, that's his little bro right there. Like, he's seen him as a kid. He took care of him. He probably killed a few pirates that tried to hurt him. He kind of like made him his son in a way. Like, you know what I mean? Like Roger and Rayleigh did. Like, everybody on the crew did. And this kid's trying to tell me, "Oh shit, yo, you don't know anything about him? Don't talk about him? Yo, kid, yo, take this key to the mouth." Yo, you know what's crazy about this? When this happened, when this got revealed, everybody was just calling Luffy a throat goat. Me included. He got a throat lift. Like, he's throwing that shit. Alright, so then Gaban ends up throwing the key in Luffy's mouth and then ends up pushing him to the ground. And now Zoro looks at Gaban, and Gaban is twirling something. We find out he has his axes on him. I don't know where he got them from. I don't know if he was keeping that shit in his ass. Like I said last chapter, I don't know how he pulled that out, but it looks like it just spawned there. Let's be honest. Like, Oda just wanted him to have his axes. It doesn't really make sense how he has them, but it is what it is. And then we see him in his like little axe pose about to attack. And I swear to God, guys, besides all this agenda bullshit, Gaban, I think, is my favorite old timer out of all these guys. Like, I love this guy. Like, he just looks really cool to me. And like, I love his aura, his demeanor, his wise guy attitude. But at the same time, like, he brings off this like crazy like psychopath. I just love him, bro. Then he says Grim Thong. He's preparing an attack to attack Luffy with. And then we see Luffy's expression and we see Zoro's expression. And these guys look terrified, like absolutely scared out their ass. Gaban looks crazy. And then you see Zoro say, "Luffy, dodge!" Yelling, like giving me Big Mom vibes on the rooftop. And then we see Gaban's attack, which seems to be pretty cool. I won't lie. He sends several slashes. And this isn't no hockeyed up attack. Well, obviously, he's sending a slash. That's probably hockey. But I mean, like, we don't see anything serious coming from his axes in terms of hockey. And then Zoro kind of just blocks one with 3 swords. And hey, people can't compare this to no Kaido's slash or Kaido's dragon slashes. This took Zoro 3 swords to stop, where Zoro was just casually stopping 1 sword from Kaido. So like, Gaban is something serious, man. And he's not even trying. People want to be like, Luffy's not trying. Gaban is not trying either. The man's just vibing and laughing and trolling. Scopper looks at Zoro and says he got a fine crew. You see Nami and Rhodes' reaction, and then you see a panel of Zoro and Luffy teaming up and getting serious. We see Gear 5 Luffy with horns. We see Luffy with a white robe, a white axe, horns. His Elbaf fit is all white. And then we see Zoro with 3 swords. It's crazy. The fact that his Gear 5 can now morph onto everything he wears or uses is cool. I like that. It always kind of did that with his other clothes, but it's good to know that it does that with everything. And Zoro looks cool. Like, this is a very good panel for these 2 guys. Like, Luffy in his right hand, like, it's a generational panel. Then we see Scopper looking up at Luffy grinning. Like, I love this kind of attitude. Like, he's the big dog and like he's kind of testing them. Like, I like that shit, bro. That's pretty cool. And he says, this is that white form. Luffy and Zoro get serious and they start to charge at Scopper because they just seen that attack and thought, yo, this guy tried to kill us. This guy is actually no joke. And Scopper grins while they're running at him and says, I give up. He saw all he needed to see. He saw his form, his Nika form, and he gave up. Like I said, guys, he probably wanted to see this form. I said that in the last video. That's probably what he wanted to see. And these guys get mad saying, yo, you just tried to kill us. Why did you like stop all of a sudden? Like, and Scopper's like, I was fooling around. You're still alive, aren't you? Like, he actually was fooling around, guys. And I'm telling you, why would he need to use advanced Artemin Haki or advanced Conqueror's Haki? And he gives them the key. And then Road tries to tell everyone that what his true identity is. And then he tells them, hey, Road, don't say nothing. If these guys are still in Elbaf and Elbaf is still safe, come find me. You know, he's trying to play that role, like that mysterious guy. Like, you guys can think of nothing of me right now, but when you do know my name, you will feel like idiots. And I like that type of like scenario. It's beautiful to me. Then we get a flashback of Gaban and Shanks, and Gaban asking Shanks, do you really think I could trust him that easily? And Shanks tell him, fair enough, do as you please, Gaban. Obviously he stopped the fight because, you know, he's Luffy and he knows something about Luffy, and he knows what's said about Luffy, and he knows Shanks' relationship with Luffy, so he's not gonna try to fight him serious. And you guys are pushing the agenda that, oh, he was scared. You guys are not reading the real story. I want to be honest with you guys, the people that are coping and saying Gaban didn't shit on Luffy because Luffy wasn't using Haki or he was trying to get the key, it's just cope. If Luffy in base was trying to use Haki, it doesn't change anything. He still got blitzed, he's still gonna touch Scopper. Haki doesn't change none of that. In fact, he was still reacting to Scopper in one scenario, and he couldn't do anything. He even looked up, and he even had that mark on top of his head that showed that he was trying to react to something. So like his observation Haki is still working. And the fact that he didn't use what, Conquerors, the guy couldn't even touch him. Like none of this stuff changes Gaban just being way faster. Like it's just what it is. He humbled a base Luffy. Okay, so the next part of the chapter, we see Gonko summoning the other Holy Knights, and I'm Gonko gang. I don't know if you guys noticed about me, but I'm Gonko gang till the wheels fall off. Some people could say it's because I'm pussy whipped or I'm just a simp. Like it is what it is, but like her powers are cool as fuck. And to be honest, to show you guys I'm not like pussy whipped, I would prefer her to have some pants. I won't lie to you. Like this is not it. Like what do you mean you're having all this cape, all these long shirts, this hat, like all this stuff, but then you're wearing panties on the battlefield? Like you have long boots. Listen, obviously she's bad as fuck. I'm not gonna cap, but like her powers are some of the coolest in my opinion. People hate her because she abused Loki, but it is what it is. All right, so she summoned the other Holy Knights, and yo, I'm just gonna cut to the chase. These two guys, one of them looks okay, like he looks alright, but he just looks like he smells like shit, and the other one is just completely goofy. His name is Saint Gam, the one that looks retarded, and the other one that looks like he stinks, his name is Saint Summers. I don't know why Gonko has this little expression on her face, like, what, you like this guy? Like, well, this guy's a goof, man. Yeah, and they tell Shamrock that he's meant to go home. It's an order from above. That's why these guys are here. And the situation apparently in Holy Land got dire recently, and they need Shamrock. And these guys are gonna complete the current mission on the island. And they say, alright, so we just need to nab those brats and take them back to the Holy Land. Obviously he's referring to the kids, and that's what we see in the panel. And in the final panel, Shamrock says, we can make a game out of this. And what he probably means is the whole God Valley incident, because that was a game to them. These guys were capturing slaves and human beings and using them for their world government's sake. And that's what these guys are doing. They're on Elbaf trying to capture kids. And obviously there's gonna be people fighting back, and it's gonna be pretty hard to do. People are gonna be dying, and mamas are gonna be crying. So it's definitely gonna be a game, one that they won't win. But hey, if you guys want to talk that shit, I'm here. Gonko's the only bitch we fucking with on this crew. I'm not gonna lie, Shamrock's cool too. Shamrock has aura. He has more aura than Shanks. Let me know what you guys think about this chapter down below. We're gonna make another video on Luffy, maybe Sanji, but there's not too much to talk about regarding Sanji and Scopper in this video. I mean in this chapter, so I don't know. But take care guys. Peace.